All right, good afternoon, motherfuckers. You through to Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is, I guess, an early afternoon with Chig. I figured, fuck it, just because I'm working from home doesn't mean that I shouldn't get a lunch break. And if I'm getting a lunch break, why can't I do this in my lunch break? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys are well. Please do stick a like on this video as you see it. Even if you're watching this on the playback, because half of you are probably at home, albeit working, but you're at home, make sure you do stick a like on this video. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's safe, as I always say. And yeah, I just decided, let me just tune in now and talk about these stories that I keep putting up on my community posts. So I'm not necessarily ruling out another show, but I'm trying to be good and stick to my promises of one stream every single day. It's harder than it looks. I ain't gonna lie. Lee makes this look easy. Harder than it looks, but in terms of it's three. I'm trying to just do one a day. But anyway, here we go. Big up to everybody. So this is essentially late night with Chig in the early afternoon if you're in the UK. So I hope you guys are well. Do stick a like on this video. You guys are a bit weak with the likes yesterday, man. Come on, guys. Drill that like button. It helps the show get noticed. And there is a real correlation between likes and views for my channel for some stupid reason. So when you guys are whack with the likes, it tells on the views. When the like squad are active, then the views get higher. So make sure you smash that like button. Drew, I hope you're well, my guy. Marbles, as always, brother. Fraser, I see you. Joey, I see you. I see everybody. Let me not leave anybody out. I see everybody in the chat. Be active. I'll come to your comments, I promise. All right. We even got a doctor in the house. Look at this. Reaching to all parts. All right. Guys, please, I will come to you. You guys know how I do this. We ain't gonna go for too long. Oh man, 1 second. Do you know what? I'll call them back. I'm on my lunch break. Ignore the rings. Ignore the rings. Ignore the rings. Ignore the rings. Oh gosh. Go on. Is it that much of an emergency? I'll call you back. Anyway, yeah, so do drill that like button. Let's go into the story. Let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, we know that there's been constant speculation over whether he will still be around in a few months' time, or whether or not he'll be able to whether he'll stick around in the club or whether he'll end up leaving or whether he'll sign a new contract. Sorry, yeah. Work laptop has completely thrown me off. Sorry. Whether he'll be around or whether he'll be around or whether he'll end up leaving. Sorry, now something else has happened. Whether it'll be around or whether he'll end up leaving. Anyway, in the meantime, what has essentially happened is Arsenal are anticipating Barcelona to come in. It's this story that I talked about yesterday with the fact that they consider they are considering their initial targets. Sorry, I've been completely thrown off by my phone call. Martinez and what's his name? Martinez and Neymar. They consider them to be too expensive. So they are reconsidering Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who they previously ruled out. They did want the younger target of Martinez. I think they still do want Martinez, but I think given the price that Arsenal have quoted today, if they've quoted that, say, last week to Barcelona, it's probably made them think, 50 million ain't that much. And that is the price. £50 million is what Arsenal are looking for Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of disagreements about this. I think people were hoping that we would hold out for 70 million. I just don't think that's realistic for someone in their last year of their contract. In all honesty, for someone who's turning 31, who's got a year left of their contract, in all honesty, it probably seems about right. I could potentially see it being something like that. So £50 million seems like it makes sense to me. If we can get £50 million and reinvest that into the squad, should he want to go, I'd take it. I honestly would. I'd take it. 50 million last year, your contract. Yeah, reinvest that onto somebody else. What do you guys think? Let me know. I know that can't be. People aren't necessarily ecstatic about this. I think people are still hoping that Aubameyang will turn it down, but it's Barcelona. You don't turn down Barcelona very easily. But let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below, and leave it in the chat room. I'll come and swoop by there shortly. Let's talk about Henrikh Mkhitaryan. So that's another player that Arsenal have set a price on today. I did say that Roma came in for him in January, and they made an initial bid of £8 million, which Arsenal flat out rejected. It was nowhere near their valuation. The interesting thing about that story, and I did say this at the time, we didn't really know what Arsenal valued Mkhitaryan at. Well, we now do. Unbelievably, Arsenal are looking for £20 million for Henrikh Mkhitaryan, which I'll tell you something. Forget any single purchase we can make this summer. If by some miracle they are able to get £20 million for Henrikh Mkhitaryan, that's the best bit of business we do all summer. All summer. To get 160,000, they say it's 160. I'm fairly certain he's on damn near £200,000 a week. If we can get that off the books, along with 20 million, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you got to look at, ultimately, you guys, we have to look at what our books are saying, and to get our wage book for a non-Champions League, and given the circumstances of this current crisis that we're going through, a non-Europe playing team, our wage bill is too high. So it does make a lot of sense to say, all right, well, if the season's not going to restart, let's just cut our losses and get rid of these guys. So what do you guys think? Please do leave it in the comments below. Last story I'm going to talk about is the PSV right back, Denzel Dumfries. This story, actually, I completely missed. This story came up about 3 days ago. I usually have 3 channels that I go through in terms of the internet, in terms of stories that I want to go after. And for some reason, this story missed all 3 of those channels that I usually go through. But then it just suddenly came up randomly through a search for another story I was looking for. And I was like, Arsenal linked with a PSV right back. PSV right back. And I remember somebody asked me about this in the chat room 2-3 days ago. And I ain't gonna lie, I had no idea who he was. But what I normally do is when somebody asks me about a player in the chat room that I've never heard of, I do make it a business to actually go and try and research about this guy. So I actually did at the time. So I know a very tiny minuscule about this guy, a little bit more than I did 2 days ago about this guy. But Denzel Dumfries, I believe, is he's a Holland international, PSV right back. Pretty good from what I can see, albeit keep in mind there are YouTube clips and highlights I've seen. But he's 6'2", so he's a big guy for a right back. International, 23 years old. Pretty quick, athletic. Defensively, I think is much better than Bellerin. I don't think he's not a particularly good crosser of the ball. I might as well just put that out there now. Don't expect to see Saka-like crosses from the right-hand side. But I think what you're going to do is, I think people forget, Sanya wasn't the best crosser of the ball. He wasn't. And I think people forget that. But what Sanya was very good at doing is he was very good at getting to the byline and more often than not, making the correct decision. And in a lot of ways, he plays in a very similar way. Very strong, though. I would say he's a big unit of a guy for a right back. Very strong. Does like a moan when he's fouled. I will say that. And he does attract fouls. But actually, I like him. I like a lot about him. Seems very capable. I know that when I put this story up, people were saying that they prefer Max Aarons. I've been banging the Max Aarons drum for a long time. You guys will know that. At least 18 months I've been banging that drum. My perspective on it now, in all honesty, I think a lot of people will be in for Max Aarons. Spurs, United are favourites for Max Aarons. I think it is sensible to look elsewhere at right backs. And I think, Holland is always a place where people like to go to because players, for some reason, find that transition a lot easier than, say, the French league, for example. So I can see why we'd be looking to head over there. This kid seems like he can make that step up. Like I say, he's a very physical guy, 6'2", which for a right back is quite big. And I think regardless of if Hector stays or goes, and you guys know I would personally sell him, but I think he will provide us good competition, especially if there's no desire to play Ainsley right back at all, because I don't know, Ainsley doesn't want to play right back. They're great. I think you've got this guy that is just ready to come in and slide in and give Hector the competition, which, if truth be told, he's needed ever since he stepped up to the first team. What do you guys think? Again, leave it in the comments below. Is this something you like? Is this a story you like? Let me know what you think. But yeah, just to answer Liverpool YNWA, you never walk alone. Mkhitaryan goes for 20 million. Aubameyang 50 plus, I would imagine. So those are all the stories I've seen so far. I'm still going to continue putting stories up in the community posts. Obviously, I'm working, but it's my lunch break at the moment. I'm a bit self-conscious about who's ever trying to call me, so I'm probably going to try and call him back, because I know my manager wanted to give me a call back because I need to talk to him about something. So the show may not be as long as I originally hoped, but let me just stick around and read some comments before I go. Once again, please do stick a like on this video. They help. It just helps the show get noticed. Drive those likes through the roof. Like Squad, I'm trusting you here. Drive their likes through the roof. I hope so, my brother. I hope so. I hope so. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Okay, now that also is set to sell Aubameyang. What up with Dembele at Lyon? Yeah, I think that is an excellent question. And I think a lot of people would be happy to see him come in. We've been linked with him forever. We were linked with him, I remember, after his first year at Celtic. And then he had, 3-4 more years? Then he moved to Lyon. Feels like the perfect time to go and get him. Obviously, another striker that we were linked with was Jonathan David. Another one who's very prolific at his level. 20 years old, very young. So someone that potentially we could secure nice and early. Would you be happy with him? Joey hopes that Aubameyang stays and makes these bad times us a happy moment. Okay. Big up, Chig. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are well. Let's face it, we aren't getting Champions League. Uber deserves to be in the Champions League. So let just sell him and rebuild. I'm not quite as hard on this as my man is, but for me, I'm not against the idea of selling him. I'm not. If he doesn't want to stay, let's just get as much as we possibly can for him and use that money to rebuild. Personally, I'd also sell Lacazette. He's apparently flirting with Atletico Madrid, perhaps because he's got an inclination that Uber's leaving. I don't know. I say sell him. If for the pair, you can get anything close to 100 mil, I think brilliant. And you get a lot of wages off the bill. Okay. I must admit, if you feel that you want to use the dislike, crack on. Doesn't really harm the show. That was your intention. Mickey needs to go.